But you want to keep picking on interviews?
Sure.
Let's go to the one that says Michael Wilton and with Jack Antonio on Insane Realm Radio.
Oh, Insane Realm.
Yeah, Insane Realm Radio checking in.
Okay. Let's find out what this one's all about.
Right?
Jack Antonio and Michael Wilton of Queensryche chat.
Yes.
Okay, looking forward to the chat. All right, let's play this.
Shopping at the Target store. This is the most random.
What happened there? Did it start in the middle?
Hang on a minute.
All right, Jack Antonio here on the Metal Factory, and we have our final guest of the show this evening. I am talking to Michael the Whip Wilton. How are you?
Doesn't he sound like Sebastian Bach?
He does, kind of.
You doing there, buddy?
I'm doing great. I'm in Seattle.
Have we ever done that? Hey, how you doing there, buddy?
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
The only one we ever did that with was our good buddy Scott.
Our good buddy. Hey, buddy. How you doing?
How you doing there, buddy? All right.
Getting ready to blast off to another show this weekend, so my head is on my shoulders.
Right on. Now, this is probably a wildly and widely known fact, even, but I grew up in the Chilliwack, British Columbia area, not too far away from Seattle.
Oh, yeah. How about it?
Who cares?
How about it?
Who gives a shit where he grew up?
Oh, yeah, how about it?
He's not the source. He's not the one that's being interviewed.
Yeah.
These guys always do that.
I know. It's all about me.
Yeah. Guess where I used to live, friend?
Chilliwack.
Chilliwack.
Too bad you don't have your drops.
Oh, I could probably find Chilliwack real fast. Are you kidding me? Let me open up some Spotify. I'll find some Chilliwack.
Oh, yeah, play the commercial while you're at it.
Sure, I'm sure it'll make me too, won't it? God damn.
Just like a hop, skip, and a jump, you know. So I'm definitely familiar with the area. Like little road trips across the border growing up to eat at. There used to be this restaurant in Bellingham called the King's Table, one of those all-you-can-eat places. I don't know if you are even remotely familiar with it, but that's where we used to drive.
We didn't have food in Canada, so we used to come across the border. Because there was a place you could eat all you could. We'd tank up, go back across the border. We were good for a month before we had to make the trip again.
Don't you remember that place? You drove down I-9 and you took a left over at Bobby Street. Then once you got down Bobby Street, you went down about 4 blocks and you took a left over there on Hanks Boulevard. And then right over there is where the restaurant was there. Right there on the right side. Had a big old sign with a neon light on it. Used to blink a couple times. It said Mel's. Remember that place? The fuck?
It was Kings and Thieves Diner.
Jesus Christ, man. Can this guy tell us any more about his entire life history?
Well, being that he's from Canada, not surprising he sounds like Sebastian.
Yeah, that's true.
Just to eat and do a little bit of shopping at the Target store. This is the most random stuff I've ever brought up in an interview, by the way, Michael.
Yeah.
Because it's all about me.
That's right.
I wonder if he saw Mark and John hanging out at the Target since that is their favorite store.
Hey, why aren't you guys buying the new Queensryche?
Right.
You guys are just all stuck on that stupid Guns N' Roses shit.
Yeah.
Well, I love going to Vancouver. Vancouver's a great place, and I'm very close to it.
That's right. Just across the harbor. I can recall in the 1990s when Seattle was kind of the Mecca, so to speak. The Vancouver scene largely mirrored what Seattle was doing at the time.
Yes, I have lots of very good Canadian friends, and I'm a fan of the Canadian beer as well.
you and me both, man. So I've been meaning to ask.
A gone, 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 she been gone so long, she been gone, gone, gone so long. A gone, 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 she been gone so long, she been gone, gone, gone so long. A gone, 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 she been gone so long, a gone, 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 gone so long. Ever since she left me, I sure feel a misunderstanding. I can't get her on the telephone. Hanging out down the main street, living in a different world. Standing around with the gang on the corner, talking about my girl. My girl, she was the world to me. She's gone all the way across the sea. My girl is just a memory. She beats a long way.
Thank you. She
You
went,
gonna feel better?
she went across the border to Seattle to see Whip.
Right.
That's where she's gone. She's gone so long.
Yeah, she's been gone to Chilliwack.
Right. She left Chilliwack to go to Seattle.
That's right.
Ask you, your nickname, the Whip. How did that happen? How did that come about? Like,
Oh, why do these people do this?
30 years later.
How'd you get the name Skid Row?
How did that happen?
How'd that happen? Where'd you get that name?
Who started calling you the Whip? What is it with this guy? Like you know what I don't like about this guy? And this is, and I don't mind the interview. I think he does a decent interview, I guess. But I hate the overhyped radio voice.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, buddy, here we are. We're excited to have the Whip on the show with us tonight. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah.
Awful.
Excitement.
It's so bad.
I noticed you signed an email or something, Whip. So I'm assuming, should I be calling you that?
Well, you called him that at the very beginning of the interview.
Yeah.
Yeah, Michael Whip Wilton.
Yeah. Might be a little late to pull it back, dickhead.
People have called me that since I was 16 years old. It came about because in the formative years of learning the guitar, from some of my lessons, my teachers said that I whipped on the guitar. And thus at Keggers back in the day, people started, hey, there's Whip. They go, what? Yeah, he whips on the guitar. And it just grew from that.
Is it a reference to your individual and unique playing style, the way your fingers are moving across the fretboard, so to speak?
Didn't he just say they said he whips on the guitar?
They just told you exactly what it was about. Why are you asking again? You know who this guy sounds like?
Sounds like Sebastian Bach.
Oh, Scott Farrell. You know who Scott Farrell
No,
is?
I don't know who that is.
Oh, my God, dude. He's this. I'm going to look up some YouTube of him. He's a radio guy. He was on Stern's channel. He does like a sports talk show.
Okay.
And he's like a radio horror guy. He was on Stern's network on Sirius. Now he's on CBS. He's one of these fucking dirtballs that just bounces around. You know, one of these New York fucking boobs that, you know, constantly has a gig but never has any talent.
Sure.
This gig. I'm surprised you don't know him.
No, don't know him.
Because he started in Pittsburgh. That's why I thought maybe you would know.
Nope, don't know the guy.
You would know the mighty Scott Farrell.
Mm-mm.
Let me see. Here's some Scott Farrell. Maybe. If it decides to load without a fucking commercial.
This is Scott Farrell. He did a radio show for us here on Howard 100 last night. Or was he on Howard 101? There he is. There's Scott, who was on... Scott is joining us. You're on tonight, right, Scott?
Absolutely. It's just the greatest thing ever for me.
Great. Is this not
Oh, my
fun?
God. It was just the sickest night of my life. I've now accomplished everything in life. I did Letterman twice, and now I sit with you. God on earth, my hero in radio.
Does he sound the same?
A little bit.
Similar?
Similar.
Yeah, he sucks.
Yeah.
Yes, I guess it describes, fast fingers moving on a guitar fingerboard.
Here's something that I was going to ask you.
I love that. Here's something I was going to ask you.
I think you're about to ask, Dick Buck.
I like how they preface these questions. Here's something I was going to ask you.
Yeah, I was going to ask you this.
But I'm not going to now, so forget I even mentioned it.
Yeah. So move the fuck on.
In your formative years, like you were talking about there, it talks in different bios that I've read about a jazz and classical upbringing that you've been to music school. I guess this is going way back now.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm 50 years old, and, I was in music school when I was 16, so, yeah, you're right. It went way back.
Yeah, but let's talk about that now.
Yeah.
Because none of that was covered at any point when we were a big band.
Yeah, because I've been a professional, musician in Queensryche since I was 20.
Right.
I'm 50 now, so, yeah, let's talk about the time I was in music school when I was a teenager.
Let's talk about my kindergarten teacher, Mrs. Smith. She was fantastic. You want to know everything about her? She had long brown hair, and she used to wear cute dresses. Oh, she was cute.
Right.
Jesus Christ, man. Can you stick to the topic at hand? It's not like this is a band that doesn't have a lot going on.
Yeah. And a 30-year history.
Forget any of the history. Right at this minute, they are one of the most talked about bands in the world.
But my point is that the questions he's asking are about things that are irrelevant now.
Well, yeah, of course.
Completely irrelevant.
He's like, Natalie, you've been in business 30 years. What's that about?
How did she phrase that? You've been in Queensryche for 30 years. What comes to mind?
What comes to mind?
What comes to mind?
I attended a accredited college in the Seattle area called the Cornish Institute of Allied Arts. And there I studied all kinds of music theory, jazz improvisation, gamelan music, classical guitar, classical piano. Just absorbed all that. But I was only able to go for a year and a half because I ran out of money. And fortunately, I met the guys in the band.
And there you go.
Yeah,
and the rest is history.
Yeah, it's a great story.
I was 19, 20 years old, and met the guys in the band. Fortunately, our EP took off in 1983, and the rest is history.
Yeah, so you want to ask me something about that now? How'd you guys get together to record that EP? Jeez.
Are we talking this was a similar, like, kind of like the Berkeley of the Pacific Northwest kind of thing? Like, I've talked to a few people that have gone to Berkeley in the last few months as well, and it sounds like something similar.
Why is this guy so concerned about their formal college training?
I have no idea.
I mean, if this was like maybe some 20-year-old, 22-year-old who, just new band or even solo artist launched him to a top, it's like, did your formal training help you with this?
Right.
But not somebody who's been around 30 years.
No, not at all. Dude, and again, it's it is a band that has all kinds of controversy swirling around it. You don't need to do setup on this anymore.
Exactly.
Be like asking the Rolling Stones, how they got together.
Right.
I mean, why? Why would you ever do that?
It's like, okay, that's not even relevant at this point.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
It's a moot point.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Allied Arts, I mean, it's all kinds of support in the art foundations and music foundations. And it's highly regarded. I guess it doesn't get as much publicity as Berkeley. But what's great is you get some great teachers that fly into Seattle that are actually gigging, and they come and do seminars, and you get to see some great jazz musicians and all types of really great teachers.
Who were some of your influences earlier on, Michael?
Oh, man. Well, I guess if he was, helping him write his memoir, this might be relevant.
It's good stuff.
Who's your influences?
I'm learning everything there is to know about Whip, except anything to know about this current crisis the band's in.
Right. Well, I don't know. Being that Queensryche launched in the early 80s, I'm going to probably say there's probably a lot of 70s guys that influenced me. You know, could be anywhere from Eric Clapton to Jimmy Page to, Richie Blackmore, Eddie Van Halen even.
Yeah, it's also relevant to this conversation, too.
Let's see what he says.
My influences range vastly. I grew up in the 60s and 70s, listening to Led Zeppelin.
Bingo. What did I say? I didn't even hear this interview. See, you can almost answer these questions.
Yeah, because they've been asked 4 million times before.
But regardless, it's just like, okay, Queensryche launched, into the public light in 83.
Yeah.
So these guys, for all intents and purposes, grew up through the 70s.
Right.
When they were listening to music. And what was popular then? Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Deep Purple. So these are going to be the guys.
Right.
Period.
Yeah, there's no real
mystery to it.
No, there's like 5 guys.
Yeah. Black Sabbath.
Yeah, Deep Purple.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it. Clapton, Hendrix, and Zepp.
Right.
That's about it. Maybe Stones.
Jimi Hendrix, the Allman Brothers, particularly Duane Allman. I listened to Eric Clapton.
Bingo. See? Didn't even hear this interview, and I was able to knock out at least 2 or 3 of them right there. So, nothing groundbreaking there.
Nope.
And I listened. My dad has a vast jazz collection, so I listened to John McLaughlin, Larry Coryell, Al Di Meola. I mean, there was a whole bunch of guitar players that I was very interested in listening to. And then as I got into, junior high school and high school, then that's, when everybody was listening to Van Halen. And
Bingo. What did I say? Eddie Van Halen.
God.
Why
are we talking about when he was in junior high school?
But that's my point. Well, he asked, who's your influences? And it's just like, dude, come on. Do the math.
Angel of Death. This interview is like an email from Mark Nero.
Right. Okay.
British thing came into power with Maiden and Priest and Deep Purple.
See,
I mean,
there we
it
go.
was a great
Deep
time.
Purple, just like we said.
Right.
Wow, shocker.
It's good stuff.
Really?
It's this question.
Wow, shocker.
Yeah.
For a guitar player, to absorb all these great styles and great guitar players.
No doubt. Now, do you bring some of that influence into your playing? Like, are you, I'm assuming you did what a lot of guitar players do and just sat down and listened to records and picked up licks that way, but are you incorporating some of this stuff into your own unique style? I'm assuming you are, but...
No, because by this time, I've sort of developed my style.
Yeah, 30 years later, I've got my own style.
I'm not trying to knock off Hendrix or Eddie Van Halen. I've pretty much developed who I am as a guitarist.
Right.
It's like, yeah, maybe early on as a youngster, yeah, I tried to, do Eddie Van Halen licks or Richie Blackmore licks or whatever, but I've pretty much got past that about 20 years ago.
1975.
Jeez.
Yeah, I think anything that you surround with creatively, absorbs into your personality, and subsequently it funnels into the guitar. But again, it's not like I'm emulating somebody. I'm
Bingo.
not.
Whip needs to learn a little bit more from his old bandmate Jeff Tate and just be like, that's a stupid question.
Right.
Move on.
Well, he says it's not like I'm trying to emulate somebody.
Right.
Yeah, maybe as a kid, 30 plus years into this, not so much.
Right.
Copying them, note for note, lick for lick.
Right.
It's just an inspiration, I would say. You ask any guitar player to describe how they play, and they probably will not be able to tell you.
Right. It's their own thing. He should have just interviewed me.
Yeah, really.
I mean, there's just no earth-shattering material here.
Well, it's because his topics suck.
That's my point. It's just like, what is it that you really want to know here?
Apparently nothing. He's just excited to have a name that somebody will recognize on his show.
You're probably right.
Basically, they don't know. They just do it, And there's a saying, when you're playing good, get out of the way.
See now.
I never heard that one. Did you?
That's not a saying I say.
Yeah, when you're playing well, get out of the way.
Get out of the way.
I got this, bitch.
Yeah.
Get out of the way.
I just
start analyzing what you're doing. It's not as fun anymore.
That's true. I mean, I guess the reason why I'm asking is because I come from a bit of a jazz background myself, and one thing my prof always used to do, like I'm a trumpet player actually. My prof always used to say, pick a couple of players and really focus your time on learning as much about their playing style as possible, and then eventually branch out from that. Like, I always dug cool jazz players like Miles Davis and Chet Baker, and then I kind of like to mix that with a little bit of hard bop, like Lee Morgan, that kind of dirty blues licks that he used to do, and kind of all three of those styles I think just mix into my own playing. So it's just interesting hearing from a rock guitar player standpoint that has jazz training, if you've kind of done the same thing.
Well, he's really fixated on his jazz, training 35 years ago.
I'm sure Michael Wilton, who's probably doing a string of interviews on this day, is thrilled to be getting this in-depth look at this guy's jazz background.
Oh my God, this is hysterical. See, you and I relate. You like jazz? I like jazz. You like jazz? I play jazz. Yeah. I'm from Chilliwack. You're from Seattle.
Yeah. Is Chilliwack even close to Seattle?
It's across the border.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Nice. It's been gone so long to Seattle.
Yeah, he has.
Left Chilliwack, went to Seattle.
That's right.
It's kind of where I'm coming from there.
Yeah, I mean, and everybody listens to music differently. I mean, I tend, especially like when I listen to jazz, like John Coltrane or Miles Davis, it's like, I just don't sit there and try and copy his notes. I like to listen to what's in between the notes, the phrasing, the air that's in between, how he phrases things. To me, that's the beauty.
Yeah, that's what they teach actually at a lot of schools. A lot of the
boy, this guy is really fixated on the training shit, isn't he? Isn't he?
Like the teacher.
I know everything's about the teaching and the school and the teaching and this.
Right.
How many times has he mentioned the teaching and the training and the schooling?
Yeah, enough about the teaching. Move the fuck on to like a relevant topic.
I mean, am I mistaken? But has he mentioned teaching and schooling and training?
I think he has mentioned those.
Yeah.
Big jazz schools like, in Canada, it's McGill and St. Francis Xavier, I guess, to a lesser extent. And, they teach that, more deep listening, like not focusing in on one aspect of any one instrument that's playing at a time and just absorbing it, just like you said. Yeah, that's I could definitely see that side of things as well.
Yeah, you learned your lesson well there, Whip.
No, yeah.
Can I call you Whip?
Yeah. What does that mean anyway?
Comment,
Whip?
What comes to mind?
Yeah, I mean, everybody to each their own, and and obviously everybody's their own critic these days. So everybody knows everything about everything. Thank God for the internet. And but it's it's all fun. It's all done for the enjoyment, and we all love music, and I love to do it just as much as anybody else.
And it makes a living for me. So it's a win-win.
His answers are shorter than the questions.
Right. This guy asks the questions because he just likes to hear himself talk.
I think so.
So fast forward into the last couple of weeks here, you guys have released the track Redemption. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, Michael?
That's the question? Do you have a specific question? You want to talk about it? No, I really don't. I kind of want to bury that under the carpet.
Wouldn't that be great if he said, no, not really?
Yeah.
Judge for yourself.
Then he should have said, next question.
What are your thoughts?
That would have thrown his game way off.
That would have been great. Nah, not really.
You want to talk about that?
No, I'd rather talk about your jazz school.
Yeah, 'cause I'm so interested.
Sure, that's probably the first new song. Actually, it started out as a riff, kind of, in the inspiration of the song Empire. This really makes me feel like there's a riff and then there's going to be a catchy chorus, and that's kind of the structure of what I was going for. I got some drum tracks from Scott Rockenfield, and I just let the creative juices flow. But for me, it was about the catchy riff and just a good groove in the verse, and then just try and hit a home run in the chorus. The song basically, I wrote it in one day, and it's in A440 drop D, and it was one of those songs that it just flowed, and it was so easy. And whenever I write something, I kind of have to put it away for maybe like 24 hours and then come back and listen to it and still see if it sounds cool. I did that, and I go, oh, yeah. And I started singing the riff again. I think, that people might, think.
Now, where do you think he puts it away? Does he put it in a lockbox, or does he store it in a freezer?
Yeah, probably. Puts it in his guitar case.
Locks it for 24 hours?
Yeah, just lets it, grow a little bit, fester.
Well, Michael, my jazz teacher taught me that when you write a riff,
and when you're saving a riff, you should really kind of save it both in your mind and in recording, so that you get two different views.
But that's what they teach you at the recording school.
Yeah,
because I went to one of the best recording schools, and you might remember that one over here in Vancouver.
Yeah, McGill.
Right. That's where they taught me to do that. Did you learn that in your formative years at your jazz school in Seattle?
Yeah, before you had to quit because you ran out of money.
This is infectious. So, and it was just kind of a free flowing idea, and I grew into it, and I had a melody actually that I gave our vocalist Todd LaTorre, and he wrote the lyrics, and we just it was a song that really came together well for us.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a really, really strong hook. I mean, walking away from this song here, the chorus especially is it's infectious. Definitely.
What does he mean, walking away from the song?
I don't know.
What does that mean?
I have no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah, it's definitely infectious.
It's infectious.
I listened to it a couple of times, and I got to be honest. Yeah, It's okay.
That's all right.
And I don't hate it. It's just all right.
Yeah. It's infectious, dude. It's unprecedented.
It's unprecedented.
Unprecedented how infectious it is.
Right.
Lyrically, is it Todd that's writing the lyrics to this particular song?
Yes, the lyrics were written by Todd.
To reiterate, because I just said that, Todd wrote the lyrics.
I was going to say, he literally said, I wrote the melody and gave it to Todd, and Todd wrote the lyrics.
Did he write the lyrics?
Oh, did he?
On this one?
So, by the way, did Scott play drums?
So where did the drum tracks come from on this? They're infectious as well. Did Rockenfield participate in this?
Yeah, Whip, who played guitar on this?
It's got a pretty good bass line. Did Eddie Jackson step up to the plate on this, or is that pre-recorded?
There's something about this riff sounds very familiar. Do you recognize it? Idiot.
I had the working title was "I'm Redemption," and it was just kind of emailed MP3s back and forth, and then he got an idea for the lyric content.
Is this style of track, is this going to be fairly typical with the new release, and you're still on schedule for June 11th?
The style?
Talk about two questions that are not related that he fused into one.
Is this style?
Is this style the same as the other songs, and are you still on track for the same date? Jesus, really? You can't just take a breath and ask one then the other?
You can see he's reaching for questions.
Yeah, he just has no...
Are you... Wow.
I'll give him an ounce of credit, though. At least he's having a conversation.
Right. He's not just,
He's not just blurting questions off a page.
And then not responding to the answer.
Right. He is having a conversation.
You're right.
A verbal conversation,
You're
but
right.
he is having one.
Right. You're right about that.
Well, in my eyes, the style of the new Queensryche disc it's varied as far as each song is a bit different in its approach. That being said, it wasn't just one person writing the music, and we didn't have outside writers. So,
I wonder who that was directed at.
Yeah, that was a little shot there.
Yeah, didn't have outside writers.
Yeah, not doing that shit anymore.
Right. We saw the disastrous results of what happened there.
Right.
Everybody was participating. Eddie Jackson was writing guitar riffs and writing vocal melodies, and Scott Rockenfield was writing melodies, and Parker Lundgren, who's our other guitar player, wrote a killer song. And so I wouldn't say that, all the songs sound, in that vein. I think Redemption is its own animal as far as, a song that gets to the chorus that fast.
Yeah, it's. I guess the reason I bring this up is because you guys have been quoted as saying that it's going to be a bit heavier of a style. Is that fairly on point?
Yeah, it's probably fairly on point since we're quoted as saying it. Jesus, really?
Oh.
By the way, if you were Queensryche 2, I'll call them Queensryche 2, the other guy's Queensryche.
Sure.
Wouldn't you call your album Known Frequency?
That would be funny.
That would be great, since his is unknown.
Right.
We're the known frequency.
Frequency unknown.
Yeah, well, he may be frequency unknown, but we're the known frequency.
Right.
That would be fucking hilarious.
Frequency unknown. How about this one? We're tuned in, bitches.
I think the heaviness, well, it depends, what your definition of that is, but it's definitely in that vein, especially guitar-wise, it's a little more dark, dare I say. But what it is it's just it's a collaboration of the creative elements of the band, and everybody really putting their strengths, into the songs. And some songs go a different direction, and some songs are a little more epic. Some songs are a little more proggy. Some songs are a little more rock. Some songs are a little more, burners. It's, whatever anybody is anticipating, I don't think that is what they're going to get.
On that note, I'll have to say that I wish you guys all the best. From one West Coaster to another.
Wow. Stellar.
Fantastic, right?
From one West Coaster to another.
Yeah. You used to live on the West Coast. Did you ever call yourself a West Coaster?
No.
Me either.
From one West Coaster to another.
Yeah, I never referred to myself as a West Coaster.
Let's just hope that this Queensryche 2 release doesn't end up being a coaster.
You mean like the first one?
Right.
Yes, Jim Morrison said it. The West is the best.
That's right. Although I'm sitting up here right now in Canada's Arctic, but you know what? You never lose that little bit of what us Canadians call Lotus Land out on the West Coast. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Thanks for that.
Lotus Land. It is what it is.
It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well, listen, man. I know you're a busy guy, and you're probably doing a lot of promo. I'm definitely very honored to be able to speak with you just literally days after the single dropped.
All right, enough sucking his dick. Jesus Christ!
Just literally days after the single dropped.
Yeah, all right. It's a single by a band that's already past its prime. It's not exactly fucking Mick Jagger on the line.
Right.
Come on.
I think you guys are well on your way, and I wish you, like I said, I wish you guys all the best. I'm sure you're going to take this thing far, and it's going to be definitely exciting to hear, the album when it drops and what the future of Queensryche holds. If you know what I'm saying.
No, I don't know.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Jack.
All right, Michael, you have a good night, man.
Okay.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Who is this guy? Nicodemus with all his prophecies?
Jesus.
With all his prophecies of,
I'm stepping away from that comment.
I figured Jackal 1 might appreciate that.
Want nothing to do with your racism.
You're only making it a racist issue.
No. I think the word nigger made it a racist
I didn't say that. I said nigra.
No, you did not.
I said Niggerdamus.
Niggerdamus.
Nice. With all his prophecies of goodwill and success with the new Queensryche.
Right.
Wow. All right. Well, I think I'm going to play a classic Queensryche and, get a drink, and we'll come back and do some more stuff.
All right. That'll work.
So I've picked something from the Empire, a song you don't hear very often.
All right. Empire?
No.
Silent in Tennessee?
No.
No?
Resistance.
All right, Resistance works. Good tune.
All right. Well, here it is. It's Michael Wilton with